Hey everyone, welcome back to English Talks. I'm Sophia, and I'm so happy you're here today.
And I'm Locus. Hey, hey, hey. Good to be back, Sophia. And hello to everyone watching from all around the world.
Yes, we have people watching from Pakistan, Brazil, Japan, Egypt, like everywhere. It's amazing.
It really is. And that's exactly why today's topic is so important. We're going to talk about something that a lot of English learners struggle with.
Yes, but before we get into that, Locus, how are you doing today? How was your morning?
My morning, honestly, it was a little crazy. My dog knocked over my coffee. I had to make a second cup.
Oh no, what kind of dog do you have again?
A golden retriever. His name is Biscuit. He's adorable, but also a little disaster. He always wants attention in the morning.
Biscuit. That's the cutest name. Okay, well, I'm glad you made it here with your second cup of coffee.
Me too. all right. So, today's topic. What are we talking about, Sophia?
Okay, so today we are talking about something that so many English learners face, and that is waiting too long to start speaking English.
Ooh, yes, this is a big one.
It really is. So many people say, I will start speaking when my English is perfect, and then they never start.
Exactly. They keep waiting, and time just passes.
So today we want to talk about why people wait. What happens when you wait too long? And most importantly, how to just start, even if you're not perfect.
Love it. This is going to be a really helpful conversation. Let's go.
Okay, so Lucas, let's start here. Why do you think English learners wait so long before they try to speak? I think the number one reason is fear. Fear of making mistakes. Yes, absolutely. Fear is huge. Like, people are afraid someone will laugh at them, or judge them, or think they are not smart because they said something wrong. Right. And that fear feels very real. I totally understand that. When I was learning Spanish, because yes, I studied Spanish, I was so scared to speak. Really? You? Yes. I remember one time I was in a restaurant in Mexico City and I tried to order food in Spanish, and the waiter just stared at me like he didn't understand a single word I said. Oh no. What did you do? I wanted to disappear. I felt so embarrassed. And after that, for 2 weeks, I didn't want to speak Spanish at all. I just stopped.
Wow. 2 whole weeks.
Yes, and that's what fear does. It shuts you down. And I think that's what happens with a lot of English learners too.
100%. And here's another thing I see a lot. People think they need to know all the grammar rules before they can speak.
Oh, yes, the grammar trap. They think if I don't know every tense, every preposition, every rule, I'm not ready. And so they study, but they never actually practice speaking. It's like learning to swim by only reading books about water. Exactly. At some point, you have to jump in, even if the water is a little scary. Right. And another big reason I hear from learners is they say, I don't have anyone to practice with. Like they feel alone in their learning journey. That's a real challenge, too, especially if you live in a place where not many people speak English. Totally. But I want to say that reason has become much smaller now because of the internet, because of apps, because of YouTube channels like this one. You can find someone to practice with anywhere in the world now. True, there are so many language exchange apps, online communities, even just comment sections where you can practice writing and then move to speaking. Exactly. So the excuse of, I have no one to talk to, it's still a challenge, but it's getting smaller every day. Okay, so now let's talk about something that I think is really important. What happens when you wait too long?
Oh, yes. This is something people don't think about enough.
Because here's the thing, every day you wait is a day you're not improving. And language learning is like, it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weaker.
That's such a good way to say it.
I've met people who studied English for 5, 6, 7 years in school, but they never spoke. And when they finally try to have a real conversation, they freeze. The words just won't come out.
That's so frustrating. Because they have the knowledge in their head, they just can't access it fast enough in a real conversation.
Exactly. And that's because speaking is a different skill from reading or writing. It requires speed. It requires confidence. And those things only come from practice.
I always tell learners, you can know 1,000 words, but if you've never used them in a real conversation, they feel like strangers, like words you've seen in a book but never touched.
I love that. Words you've never touched. That's really true.
And there's another cost to waiting, which is opportunities. Real life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Jobs, friendships, travel, connections, all of those happen in real time. Oh, I have a story about this. Can I share? Please, yes. So I had a friend. His name is Marcus. He was studying English for years. Very smart guy. He knew so much vocabulary, great reading skills, but he was afraid to speak. And one day, his company had a big international meeting. An English-speaking team came to visit. And Marcus, because he couldn't speak fluently, he just sat in the corner and said nothing. He couldn't participate. Oh, that must have been really hard for him.
It was. And afterward, his boss gave a great project to someone else. Someone who spoke English, even imperfectly. But at least that person tried.
Wow, that's such a clear example. The person who tried imperfectly got the opportunity, and Marcus, who was waiting to be perfect, missed it.
Right. And Marcus told me later, he said that was the moment he decided to change, to stop waiting, to just start speaking, mistakes and all.
Good for Marcus. That takes courage.
It does. And that's really what we're talking about today. The courage to start. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. Practical tips. How do you actually start speaking English, even if you feel nervous or not ready?
Yes, let's do it. Tip number 1, and this is my personal favorite. Talk to yourself.
Talk to yourself. Okay, explain that.
I'm serious. Start narrating your day in English. When you wake up, say out loud, I woke up. I'm making coffee. The sky looks cloudy today. Just simple sentences about what you're doing.
I love this because there's zero pressure. Nobody is judging you. It's just you and your own voice.
Exactly. And it trains your brain to think in English, which is huge. A lot of learners still think in their native language and then translate, and that's slow.
Right. The goal is to start thinking in English directly, and talking to yourself is one of the best ways to practice that.
Also, you can talk to your pets. My dog Biscuit has heard more English practice than most people.
Biscuit is very educated. Okay, tip number 2, and I think this one is really powerful. Find a language partner or join a speaking group.
Yes, someone who is also learning, or someone who is patient. You don't need a perfect native speaker teacher to start practicing.
Actually, practicing with another learner can sometimes be less scary because you're both in the same situation. You both make mistakes, you both laugh about it.
Totally. And laughing about mistakes is actually very healthy. It takes the pressure off.
I always say mistakes are proof that you are trying. They are not something to be ashamed of, they are something to celebrate a little bit. That's a beautiful way to think about it. Mistakes are proof you're trying. Tip number 3, use what you know. Don't wait until you know more.
Oh, this is important.
Say more about this. So many learners say, I only know basic words. My English is too simple. But simple English is still English. You don't need fancy words to have a real conversation.
Right. I can ask for directions with 20 words. I can order food with 10 words. I can make a friend with 50 words. Exactly. The most important conversations in life are usually pretty simple. Hi, how are you? What's your name? Can you help me? These are all short sentences, but they open doors.
Yes, phrases are gold. They come out automatically when you practice them enough. You don't have to think about the grammar. Your mouth just says it. Oh, this one is so underrated. When you read the subtitles in your own language, your brain is not really processing the English. It's just skipping over it. But when the subtitles are in English, your brain has to work. It connects the sound to the words. And then after a while, you can try watching without any subtitles at all, even if you only understand 60%. That's okay. Your brain is still learning. And for speaking practice, you can pause the video and repeat the sentence you just heard out loud with the same feeling, the same speed. This is called shadowing, and it's one of the best techniques for getting your mouth comfortable with English sounds. Your mouth actually has to practice English sounds the same way your hands practice guitar. It takes repetition, it takes muscle memory. And tip number 5, and this one is very simple but very important. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Say more about that. We live in a world where everyone wants to look perfect, especially on social media. But learning a language, real, deep learning, means going through an awkward phase, a messy phase, and that's okay. It's like being a baby. A baby doesn't worry about making mistakes when they learn to walk. They just fall, get up, try again, fall again, and one day they're running. Yes, nobody looks at a baby falling and says, "Oh, this baby is so stupid." We cheer for them. We say, "Keep going, you're doing great." We should say the same thing to ourselves when we're learning. Exactly. Be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and keep going. You know, Sophia, I want to ask you something personal. When you were learning Spanish, after that scary restaurant moment, what made you start again? That's a good question. Honestly, I met a woman. Her name was Claudia. She was Mexican, and her English was not perfect. She said things like, "I make a party yesterday," instead of "I had a party." Small grammar mistakes. But she was so confident. She just talked and laughed and didn't care. And that inspired you? It changed everything for me because I saw that communication doesn't require perfection. Claudia and I became. Exactly. And I want to say something to everyone watching right now. If you understood any part of this conversation, even 30%, that is amazing. That is real progress.
Yes, and the fact that you're here, watching, listening, you're already ahead of someone who is just waiting and not doing anything.
So give yourself credit for that. Okay, I want to share one more thing that I think is really helpful, and it's a mindset shift.
I love mindset shifts. Go ahead. So, a lot of people think about English as a test. Like, every time they speak, they're being graded. Will I pass or fail? Did I say it right or wrong?
Yes, and that test mindset creates so much stress.
But what if you changed that? What if you thought of every English conversation not as a test, but as a game? Or even better, an adventure.
Ooh, I like adventure.
Like, let me see what happens when I try to say this in English. Let me see if this person understands me. Let me see how far I can go with what I know. That's an adventure mindset.
And with an adventure mindset, mistakes are just part of the journey. They're not failures, they're just interesting things that happened along the way. Exactly. Oh, that didn't work. Interesting. Let me try another way. Very different from, "Oh, I failed. I'm so embarrassed. I want to quit." Such a big difference. Same situation, completely different response. And here's the truth. Most native speakers, we love when someone tries to speak English. We don't laugh. We don't judge. We appreciate the effort so much. That's so true. When someone tries to speak English to me and they make a mistake, my first reaction is always admiration, not criticism. Right.
because we know it's not easy. We see the courage it takes. So if you're worried about what native speakers think, please stop worrying. Most of us are cheering for you. Okay, let's do something fun. We want to give you a little speaking practice right now, while you're watching this video. Yes, pause the video if you need to, but try to say these sentences out loud, in English, right now. Ready? First sentence. Say this. My name is, and I am learning English.
One more. This one is a little longer. Say, every day I speak a little more. Every day I get a little better.
Yes, if you said those sentences, even quietly, you just practiced English. Right here, right now. See? You didn't wait. You started.
And that's all we're asking. Just start, even with small moments like that.
Okay, so let's wrap up. What's the big message of today's conversation, Lucas?
I think the big message is stop waiting for perfect. Perfect never comes, but progress comes every single day if you practice.
I love that. And I would add, speaking English is not about being flawless. It's about being understood. It's about connecting with another person. That's it.
Communication is the goal, not perfection.
Exactly. And you know what? Even native speakers make mistakes. I say the wrong word sometimes. Lucas stumbles over his sentences sometimes, right?
Oh, definitely.
I've said completely wrong things in meetings and just kept going. You just keep going. You just keep going. That's the spirit.
So here's my challenge for everyone watching today. This week, just this week, have one real English conversation. It can be short, it can be simple, online, in person, wherever.
Just one. You can do it. And then come back and tell us about it in the comments. We read every comment. We would love to hear your story.
Yes, tell us. Who did you talk to? What happened? What did you learn? We want to know.
And if you're feeling nervous, remember what we said today. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be brave enough to open your mouth.
One sentence, one question, one smile. That's a start. And starts become habits. And habits become fluency.
Beautiful. Smiles brightly. All right, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching English Talks.
If this video helped you even a little bit, please hit the like button. It helps so much. And subscribe if you haven't already, because we make these conversations for you. And share it with a friend who's learning English. Maybe they need to hear this today. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, keep speaking, and don't wait. Bye, everyone. Bye.